Because that woman I love, Lord, she does what she wants to do. I was born in the country, I was raised on rock and roll. I was born in Mississippi, cut my teeth on rock and roll. Well, the blues jumped on me, got a toehold on my soul. Well, that woman I love, Lord, she keeps on putting me down. Yeah, that woman I love, Lord, she keeps on putting me down. Yeah, she keeps on swinging, but Lord, she's gonna start losing ground. If I don't lose these blues, I'm gonna hang up my rock and roll shoes. If I don't lose these blues, I'm gonna hang up my rock and roll shoes. Because that woman I love, Lord, she does what she wants to do. Well, yeah. She's like that big Tom circus when it comes to town. Yeah, she is. She's like that big Tom circus. Lord, she make me feel like a clown. But there's no doubt about it, she's the best rider in this town. Ooh, yeah. I was born in the country, I was raised on rock and roll. Yes, it was. I was born in Mississippi, cut my teeth on rock and roll. Well, the blues jumped on me, got a chokehold on my soul. Ooh, yeah.
welcome to Thor Hat Thursday. Where's my Thor hat? Dun 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 dun. It is Thor Hat Thursday, you guys, and we are having a great old time here at I Love Ruthie. Okay, can you see my Thor hat? Okay, Thor Hat Thursday. Does anybody know where the word Thursday comes from? It's actually from the Viking, Thor's Day. Thor's Day. So today is actually Thor's Day. Okay, let's see. Maybe we could set this up just a little bit better. I don't know if that's better or not. Anyway, we'll check and see. Nice to see you guys. Bless you for coming and joining us on Thor Hat Thursday here at I Love Ruthie. Our featured artist is the illustrious, very famous Mr. Travis Womack. He's one of the Swampers from Muscle Shoals in Alabama, among many other things. Google him, you guys. Check it out. Totally check it out. So nice to see you guys here today. I am so grateful. So I'm going to bang the drum. Watch the kitties run. You saw Hambone was here. Last cat that knows Billy Cowsill. Yeah. He's about as old as Billy Cowsill looked. Hambone's about 20 years old now, if you can imagine. Anyway, Stingray is watching. Delta is watching him, and he's sitting in the window now. But I'm going to bang the drum so kitties may go flying. It is a drum of gratitude, though. Look at that. They're deaf. That is the drum of gratitude, and we bang it as loud as we can with as much gratitude as we have in our mighty little arms, which are getting pretty strong. Look at this, you guys, getting pretty strong. Woo! It's not just jello. From toting the barge and lifting the bale, which is what we do when we're greenhousing. Okay, guess what our theme is tonight? Rock and roll! Woo, woo, woo! I'm about as rock and roll, as a I don't know, sparrow, but still, I love rock and roll, and funnily enough, my favorite, you guys, if you can believe it, kind of music is like super chest-rattling, deep, super heavy pop metal, with like the big vocals and the super bottom end, and the like Breaking Benjamin, for instance. Love that stuff. Or big heavy blues rock, like my favorite Zeppelin album, Presence, okay? But anyway, that's a whole other story. So our theme tonight is rock and roll. Our featured artist is Travis Womack. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're so fortunate to have met him. Hi, you guys, so great to see you. And our question of the day is, what is your favorite rock and roll band and or artist and or song? Favorite rock and roll, anything. Send us your favorite rock and roll. Who, what, where, when, how, why. What's your favorite rock and roll, anything. Okay, guys? And so greetings and thank you to everybody who sponsored us this week, which would be Joni and Kathleen and all of you who keep coming back and watching the show. My gratitude is as big as my drum. And that's pretty big. I can't even hardly pick the thing up. Okay. Anyway, what can I tell you about Travis? He wrote and recorded his first song when he was 11 years old, and it was released when he was 12, a rock and roll song. He had hits like mad. Gibson, in 2006, gave him an ES-335 because, he was featured in there that year. They were, featuring people that played the ES series guitars. He's in multiple rock and roll halls of fame. He was Little Richard's band leader for 11 years. And everything else crazy in the South. One of the Swampers. I met him. He's an incredible guy. So we're going to hear some more music from him tonight. He is an amazing gentleman as well. And you can find him if you just go down to Muscle Shoals. I'll tell you a story about that later. Okay, it's time for us to play our little intro song, which we play at the beginning of every show. And do you think I could get it right? Maybe one of the shows. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. We're going to close the door so no kitties come in or out. we did the pre-game show and made sure that the litter box area was cordoned off so as to not have any reasons to have to leave the room. Would you look at that? The guitar's almost in tune. Hi, Charlie. Charlie Ewing is an amazing artist from Alberta. If you guys want to hear some very cool cowboy music, singer-songwriter, he's a legend in our world of singer-songwriters, especially the cowboy music. Boy. That's close enough. Remember, folks, we are trying to translate this song into as many languages as we can. So let me know if you can translate it into some Greek. We're so little, we're so small, just a tiny blue-green ball. We're so minute, like bugs that crawl. Nobody can see us at all. Can't see the big mess we made of it. Can't see us fighting, no, we won't quit. None to notice the stuff we're hiding. No one will witness all the shopping. Shopping lately? I hear it's one heck of an experience. I don't go shopping. I just go to Linden. And it's still kind of like the old world. Stuff is pretty much almost the same as it ever was there. Anyway. We'll see what happens. Stuff we're hiding, no one will witness when we hit. We're so little, we're so small, just a tiny blue-green ball. We're so minute, like bugs that crawl. Nobody can see at all. No one will take note when we fall. No one will notice 'cause we're too small. Oh yeah! Look at that. These cats must be deaf as posts. Well, you can't blame Delta. She's only got one ear, one good ear. And well, Hambone, he's like 125 in human years, so what are you gonna do? Hey, guess who our featured artist in the featured art book is today? Oh, a fella who is well known in the South as well for his rock and roll guitar. I suppose that he and Travis have met up before. They're only a year apart. This here is Dickie Betts. And some of you folks might remember him from the Allman Brothers. He had a stroke a while ago, but he survived. The rumors of his demise are greatly exaggerated. So I just thought it would be fitting to, feature a guitar player who was known for his Southern rock. Because I tell you what, did I ever get the Southern rock experience when we got to go to Muscle Shoals. But that's coming up after the intermission, so wait to stick around to hear that story of us going to Muscle Shoals and meeting the Swampers and jamming with them. Okay? Yeah. Really? 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 The Swampers, as in Sweet Home Alabama. Right? Right. All right, you guys. I'm going to check in on the comments because I see there's lots of people here tonight. Oh, no. My phone crashed. It does that every time, just when I'm about to use it. It does these bad things. It's a bad thing. Okay, let's try again. Here we are. Okay. It's not giving me all the comments now, you guys. Okay, we'll start. Well, there's Charlie. Charlie, you're too kind. You're wonderful. Not only is he an accomplished musician, but he is also one heck of a cowboy and a rancher and a good friend of my good friend, Mr. Frank Simpson, who was one of the great outfitters that I worked for. Probably the best outfitter I ever worked for in all the years of working for multiple outfitters. The best in that he was a very ethical, hardworking, real amazing man. I'm sure that Charlie can vouch for that. Anyway, okay, so Johnny Moores, hi! How are you? Nice to hear from you, sir. Bless you. Okay, the only rock concert I went to was the Rolling Stones in Edmonton in about 1994. Guess what, Karen? That is so cool, because guess what we are featuring here for Book of the Day? Well, you'll be surprised. You'll be excited. Okay, Alan, the Beatles in Memphis, 1966. Ray Charles, also in Memphis, 1987. That's Mr. Alan Heidelberg, you guys. He is an amazing drummer, an amazing human being, an amazing radio host from down in Memphis. And he's the one that introduced us to Travis and took us down to Muscle Shoals to jam with those guys. But that's part of another story in a little while. Okay, hi Alan, lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Alan is quite a famous drummer. In his day, he was playing with the Gentrys. If you guys look that up, you'll see who they are. Hi Alex, nice to see you, and Mark. Okay, so it's lovely to see you guys here. Our question of the day is, what is your favorite rock and roll thing, whatever it is, whether you've been to a concert, rock and roll band, rock and roll song, rock and roll artist. It's so nice to see you all. And yes, Alan, these are my good friends who come to my show all the time, and we get to interact, and it's just the most fun, cool thing. And you'll see backstage Canadian Joe is there. Oh, and here's the kitty trying to steal my tea. Hambone. You know, for a guy that's 125, he is pretty spry, let me tell you that. Hey, Hammy? I don't know if you guys can see him, if he's quite in the shot, but now I'm going to have to fight him for my tea until it's all gone. Okay, so I am going to move on to doing you guys another little song. I'm going to sing you the song that, Hambone, no stealing my tea. Look at this, you guys. I'm going to have to gulp all my tea in one quick session because Hambone is going to steal it. I'm going to put it way up over here, but you watch. He'll come along and try to steal it anyway. He'll crash everything over just to get to the tea. He is a teaaholic, much like myself. Maybe that accounts for his longevity. It's because he drinks a lot of tea. Tea with cream. Okay, let's tune this guitar because it never hurts to be in tune. In at least some remote way. Come on, Hammy. That's relatively better. Okay, here we are. I'm going to sing you a song that I had the privilege of jamming with Travis and Hammy. No, Hammy, what are you doing? He's attacking my guitar strings. Hammy loves guitar strings. You see, Hammy is formerly Hammy Hambone Johnson, as in Ralph Boyd Johnson, and so he is addicted to guitar strings. I don't know if you guys can see this in the shot, and I can't see if... Okay, Hammy! Here we go, guys. Look at this. Crazy Hammy is attacking my guitar strings. Look at this. Crazy cat. What are you doing, Ham? I'm trying to play my song here, bud. He likes to actually chew on the strings. Don't you, Ham? He's chewing on them. Okay, one of his favorite things to do. If he's not raiding your tea, he's attacking your guitar strings. He's a crazy kitten. Crazy kitten. He is. He's a crazy kitten. Okay, Hammy, I'm trying to sing a song here. take the turn just a little too fast. Make it count, gonna make it go our way, honey. The world's so big and we're so small, don't always understand it. I gotta get out of this town. Same old stuff, just a different day, and we all know that it better change. Gotta get out of this town. Which we burn won't be the last. Gonna take the turn just a little too fast. Make it count, gonna make it go our way, honey. Take my hand, we're gonna run away. Going far from here, we're gonna go to stay. Nobody knows where we're gonna go. Just pack it all up, get the show on the road. Gotta get out of this town. 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 I suppose one day they'll let us get out of the town. Maybe you guys will all come out here to Swallowwood. We'll have one big party this summer. Maybe they'll make us do it in our cars or something. Like when we were teenagers. All right. Thank you guys. So, I have the question for you of the day, which is, what is your favorite rock and roll? Anything. Favorite rock and roll style, favorite rock and roll song, favorite rock and roll band, favorite rock and roll artist, favorite rock and roll concert. Let me know. That's our theme today, is rock and roll, and our featured artist is one of Muscle Shoals Swampers, originally from Tennessee, Mr. Travis Womack. Okay, you guys, on to comments one more time. Kathleen says, okay, so everybody's saying hi. Kathleen says, I really always enjoyed Creedence, many songs. Have you ever seen the rain? Lovely song. I should maybe learn to cover one of those songs. Kathleen, send me a request for a CCR song, and I will learn it. But you have to send me a request for which one. Okay, and, gosh, that time of my life is lost in a hazy fog, says Alex. Alex, were you kind of a crazy wild man in your younger days? I would be surprised to hear that. My gosh, Alex Cotto, one of the most stalwart electronically guys. He can fix anything that's electronically, and he is one amazing songwriter as well, and an incredible mandolin player and entertainer and a beautiful man. And he is very tall and very lovely, as I am very short, sort of in the opposite direction, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. Lost in a hazy fog. Well, dear, that's wonderful to know that you were living. Right. Okay, hello, Kathleen. Hello, Kathleen, says Alan. So there's a song, isn't there? I saw the Rolling Stones in San Francisco, says Kathleen, in the Ball Stadium, third row, led by Sheryl Crow. Wow! I just generally love classic rock. Very nostalgic, right? We are very fortunate to be of the age, you guys, that we got to be there for the greatest of the greats. Many of us got to see many of them. Joni says, Kathleen, I saw the Rolling Stones on the Plains of Abraham in Quebec City a couple of years ago. Super show. Wow, Joni, you're epic. Love this song, Ruth. Got to get out of this town. Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much. I'm glad Alan plays that song on his show every now and then, because technically we're cousins, right? Sort of. Ish. Yeah. Well, you know how it is when you're from where we're from, you're all related. So there you go. Karen, yes, a great show, especially for a bunch of old rockers, right? Well, just wait till you see what I got for Book of the Day, you guys. Just came to me. I saw Rush, Mahogany Rush at that time. Remember, you guys? Oh my gosh. Perform at McEwen Hall Ballroom in the mid-70s. It was a stellar show. Needless to say, they went on to be a mega band. Hello, Alex. Wow, that's so cool. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, considered folk rock. Love their music. Always have. Four-Way Street. Yes. Beautiful stuff. The harmonies, right? The harmonies. Absolutely exquisite. Okay, so those are some great rock and roll favorite things. We are now going to go on to Book of the Day. Check this out, you guys. I've always wanted to do this. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if the light's good enough, but... And I better move my tea out of the way. Do you see that? Blowing the dust off the top of the box. It's been a while since I visited these guys. Fittingly, I have the 40-year odyssey of the Rolling Stones right here. It's called Old Gods Almost Dead. Fittingly, okay? So if that's not rock and roll, I don't know what is. We are just going to flip to a random page and read a passage from that. And I also have the ever-present and often read by many, especially in our younger years, the celebrated biography of Mr. Jim Morrison, No One Here Gets Out Alive, which is also a fascinating read. So again, we'll just flip to a page here on Thursday, and we will read from it. Okay, look, at this page is marked right here. Here we go. The start of the page. It's the bow is drawn. She told him to take the garbage out, Jim said. She hollered at him, and my father did it. He took the garbage out. A week later, with money enough for a small apartment about half a mile from the university, Jim went through the mid-year registration process, joining 20,000 other students on one of California's biggest campuses. Unlike her older sister university in Berkeley, UCLA was virtually apolitical. The students were tanned, athletic, and pleasing to look at, and their attire was casual and classless. As in, there was no class in upper class, lower class, etc. By 1964, when Jim arrived, the film school was entering what the professors now call the Golden Age. The faculty included some of the top directors, Stanley Kramer, Jean Renoir, Joseph von Sternberg among them. The students counted among themselves a score of brilliant and volatile personalities, including the young Francis Ford Coppola. Perhaps most important, the division had an exhilarating, near-anarchic philosophy, which may have inspired Jim to write later. The good thing about film is that there aren't any expert. There's no authority on film. Any person can assimilate and contain the whole history of film in himself, which you can't do in other arts. There are no experts, so theoretically any student knows almost as much as any professor. Okay, so that's a little bit from the early days of Jim Morrison. He went to film school. I don't think he finished because he got into the band, and things went from there. All right, let's flip to Old Gods Almost Dead. Hi, Fitzy. Hi, Mr. Gunhold. How are you, darling? Excellent. Thorhad Thursday, you guys. The theme is rock and roll. You know, I'm pretty sure that the Rolling Stones got themselves into trouble going down to Muscle Shoals at a certain point. Let's see if it's in the index. Is there an index? I didn't have time to even look. As you saw, I blew the dust off the books. They have been sitting. Let's just see. Because I'm pretty sure it was the Rolling Stones. You guys, my memory, I will forget. I've forgotten more now than most people will ever know. It's true. Because my brain is, well, rather like yours, Alex. Foggy in those days. We are looking for LMNOP. Let's see if there is a reference to, just for the sake of No, 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 no. No, nothing in the index. Oh, wait, hang on. 315 to 316. Aha! There is. Okay, I think they got themselves into a bit of trouble when they were in Muscle Shoals. Alan, you can probably enlighten us on all of that. 315 to 316. Okay, so here we go. This is what happened with the Rolling Stones at Muscle Shoals. This is called Let It Bleed. The Stones had been starting their shows 2 hours late, building up fan anticipation by keeping them waiting. Now they were 8 hours late. 55,000 kids had been waiting outdoors in a grove-killing Florida rainstorm in battlefield conditions. There was political trouble as well, with right-wing groups agitating against the festival and the corrupting power of the Stones specifically. The Stones were flown in by chopper, freezing, wrapped in a blanket. Keith hit the chords of Jumpin' Jack Flash at 3 in the morning, and thousands of cold kids started dancing. They played until dawn broke over the Everglades, and the festival was counted a ragged victory for the band, performing in the open air with frozen fingers. Exhausted, the Stones jammed a little for their film crew in their Palm Beach hotel, then disappeared off the map for a supposed rest. Instead, they flew to northern Alabama and checked into the Holiday Inn near Sheffield for a few days of recording, arranged by Ahmet Ertegun and kept secret from Alan Klein. Klein controlled the Stones' song copyrights, tape masters, and royalty payments. He had the Rolling Stones by their throats, and they couldn't afford to rile the volatile accountant. At Muscle Shoals Sound Studio, a squat bunker in a factory zone where Aretha Franklin and other Atlantic soul stars did some of their most down-home recording, the Stones worked with Memphis musician Jim Dickinson and engineer Jimmy Johnson. A big old porcelain toilet bowl in the middle of the funky studio held a microphone for special plumbing resonance. A shitty sound, according to the locals. At Muscle Shoals, the Stones began working on their next album and the rest of their career. The first night they recorded You Gotta Move and a retitled version of Mississippi bluesman Fred McDowell's Got to Move. Keith took the high part sang by McDowell's wife, Annie Mae, as he had when they did the song as part of the tour's acoustic set. The second night, playing guitar, Mick taught Keith his Australian Outback song, originally titled Black Pussy but renamed Brown Sugar, partly in honor of sepia beauty Claudia Linier. Brown Sugar was also the street name of unrefined heroin from Southeast Asia. Drugs and girls, Mick later said of the lyric. All the nasty subjects in one go. I should probably say that with an accent, shouldn't I? Okay. Charlie got into a classic rock groove, Do It Like Tallahassee Lassie, Mick told him, and Ian Stewart played a big boogie piano. Mick wrote the 3 verses on the spot, and the band got it right after a dozen takes. In Brown Sugar, the Stones had what they came for, a furious and alive record of coked-up band rocking out in the Deep South. The next night, after drinking half a fifth of Jack Daniels and playing country songs on the piano, Keith high-strung a guitar in a Nashville tuning. Prompted by Mick for a song, Come On, You Must Have Hundreds, Keith disappeared into an office and worked out the melody line to Wild Horses and the words of its chorus, thinking of Anita and baby Marlon back in London. Plugging into Keith's riff with the dull, aching pain of his own love life in mind, Mick wrote out the song's verses of regret and his unwillingness to let his graceless lady slide through his hands. Stu hated any song with minor chords, so Jim Dickinson played piano, and by dawn the Stones had their newest love song, a conflated portrait of their feelings for the wild, untamed blondes in their lives. At the dawn end of these sessions, mindful of bootlegging, Mick Jagger carefully erased all the extra tapes of their work before he left the studio. On December 4th, the Rolling Stones flew to San Francisco and there shared destiny in the cold, empty hills south of the city. Okay, well, didn't so much get into trouble as create legendary recordings. Right then. Wow. Yes. Okay, there's lots more to hear about that. But research, darlings. If one had time and wasn't gardening, one could find out more. Anyway, book of the day being books of the day. Jim Morrison, The Rolling Stones, both well worth a peek. It's been a while. For myself, no time to rock and roll. Only early in the morning when we crank the tunes. Or, how about right now? Because we're going to take a little tiny break and listen to some more Travis Womack. Okay, Kathleen said she enjoyed the documentary about Muscle Shoals, learned much that she did not know previously. Yes, fascinating, fascinating. So Travis worked at the studio, of course, for a long time, did a lot of recording, was a house guitar guy, etc. We are going to hear a duet with him and Donnie Fritz, the illustrious, now late Donnie Fritz, who was the piano player for Chris Christopherson, for many, many years, and a very good friend of Travis's. And they did this duet together. Their voices are similar, so you'll have to listen carefully. And I'll tell you a story about them when we come back. Right, Hammy? Oh, he found my tea! He's a devil, isn't he?
Baby!
Oh, well, I'll go get some more.
What have you got for me to do today?
Mammal. Yeah, it's your tea now.
Well, I like it when you honeydew me. I'm your honeydew man. Yes, sir. Do you want me to go to the grocery store and get you a big old T-bone steak? Oh, yeah. And do you want to go to the movies? Put popcorn and something to drink? Oh, yeah. 'Cause I'm your honeydew man. Listen to me, girl, for goodness sakes. Honeydew this, honeydew that. You say, check out the dog, bring in the cat. I'll cut the grass, and I'll trim the tree. Honey, you want me to rake them old leaves? Oh, yeah. Baby, do you feel real good today? Do you want me to scratch your back? Are you feeling really scratchy today? Oh, yeah. I could go to the bank, get you some cash. I'll even fill up your car with gas. Yeah, what I say? Oh, yeah.
there's Hambone. Entertaining us all with his hammy tea-drinking ways. Welcome back to I Love Ruthie. Thank you for being here with us, you guys. Cheers. We're now drinking water because Hammy had his way with me. Tea. We heard from our featured artist today, Mr. Travis Womack, living legend from down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And our theme today is rock and roll. Haha, Thor Hat Thursday, or technically Thor's Day, because that's where it comes from, isn't it? Thor's Day, Thursday, Thor's Day. Right, okay, so it's so lovely that all of you guys are here, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Little Richard and Tom Jones recorded Travis Womack's Greenwood, Mississippi at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. There you go. So Travis really is a living legend. Thanks for filling us in, Alan, because, you know, I don't know everything, but, well, hardly anything, except for that I had the super cool pleasure of jamming with Travis and Alan and some of the guys down there in Muscle Shoals when we went to the jam that Alan arranged for us to do. It was very cool when Rob, Ellen, and Backstage Canadian Joe and I were moosing down in Southern America. Not South America, but Southern North America. Southern USA. That's right. Okay, so our theme today is rock and roll. And my question of the day is, what's your favorite rock and roll anything? For instance, this is my favorite rock and roll. Dun, 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 dun. Rock and roll watermelon plant. And it's very fitting that I would have a watermelon plant when we're talking about rock and roll, because there's nothing like having watermelon when you're listening to rock and roll. Rock and roll, what? Okay, you guys, I'm going to sing you a song. It's not necessarily a rock and roll song, but that's okay. It's kind of more of a blues song, which is essentially where rock and roll came from, right? Uh-oh, my horns are on crooked. When wearing horns, it's important to have them on straight. It's a little blues song that I wrote. And it's about as close to the blues as I get, you guys. Country singer, hello. How can you be so mean, baby? How could you be so cruel? You just had to have what there was of me. Then you played me for the fool. Over my head our theme tonight. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock my Thor hat off. Cheers, loves. Thor Hat Thursday, or technically Thor Hat Thursday, because Thursday comes from Thor. And thank you for joining us, you guys. I am so grateful to all of you for coming here. Our question of the day: favorite rock and roll experience, band, song, anything. Favorite rock and roll, anything, story. And time for a little stretch, you guys. Okay, feet flat on the floor, please, people. We're going to take a nice cleansing breath. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Deep breath in. And out. There we go. Okay. And we're going to do a groovy thing, because the tension for me gets in the shoulders. So just a little bit. Rolling the shoulders. And then we're going to reach as far as we can with one arm. And then reach as far as we can. Oh, yeah, with the other arm. And reach as far as we can. And then both arms staying straight up and down with our torso. And just reaching and pulling those arms out of their sockets. And then rolling those shoulders. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right? That's how we get mighty. Okay, stretching is part of strength. Right, guys? Okay. Excellent. Back to comments. Alan Heidelberg, our very dear friend, said, I played a good friend Jim Dickinson's band. In good friend Jim Dickinson's band. Well, Jim Dickinson being the guy who produced the Rolling Stones there. Mudboy and the Neutrons, when we backed Dr. John in 1973 at the George Klein Christmas Hop in 1973. What a night that was. Okay, so yeah, these guys were all schmoozing with the guys that were schmoozing with the guys that were playing with the guys that were really there in real life, you guys. And we were fortunate enough to get to know them very briefly, just for a moment, while we were down there with the moosing. Thanks very much to Alan, as I say, Heidelberg, who connected us with the gentleman. And Alan knew Rob, so once again, thanks to Rob and all his moosing ways. So what happened was Alan invited us to come to the jam that Johnny Ballou and Travis Womack and all the boys down there in Muscle Shoals were hosting and had every Sunday night. It's like an open mic jam kind of thing, and everybody got together there. It's a family thing, a community thing. Just amazing. So we got to go down there, and on the way in the Moose, of course, we stopped at a distillery. And we're in the South, and we're in Alabama, and everybody just knows everybody, apparently, because we're talking to the feller there at the distillery, and we said, well, we're on our way to Muscle Shoals. We didn't say that, but anyway, we said, we're on our way to Muscle Shoals to go see Johnny Ballou and the boys from, the Swampers, and the fella who owned the distillery, whose name escapes me at this moment. I can't even remember the name of the distillery now, but so many details, you guys. Whoa. Backstage, Canadian Joe or Rob Ellen might be able to weigh in on that one. Anyway, the gentleman said, Johnny Ballou? You're going to see Johnny Ballou? His Thor hat just about jumped off the top of his head. Johnny Ballou? You're going to see Johnny Ballou? Well, you tell him hi from the blah, blah, blah. And why, we have Johnny Ballou here all the time. Well, you're going down to see all them fellas. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he knew the fella that was hosting the thing, and apparently anybody that knows anybody that knows anybody knows everybody down there. And we became part of that amazing experience, and it was really cool. And they welcomed us in as if we had been, long lost friends and cousins and family for, all our lives. And shucks, I'd still be there today if the Lord was willing, because I do love the South so much. The weather, the critters, even the scary ones, and the music and the art and I know the hot weather's bad, right? But I like the hot weather and the swampiness and all that. But yeah, and tornadoes are bad. But all the other things, the flowers, hello magnolias. Anyway, you guys, I'm going on and on and on. So that was my story about those guys. It was pretty amazing. And Donnie Fritz was there, who again, like I said, was and we got to play music with him. And he's got a great song called Women and Fried Chicken. Boy, that was something to hear that song. Anyway, he sang it that night. It was pretty beautiful. So I'm very grateful to you guys for coming and joining me here tonight and listening to all of my carryings on. Our theme has been rock and roll on Thursday. Dun, da, da. And I don't think I even have hardly time to sing you guys another song. Nope, we're going to be out of time. Look at that. The time flies when you are having fun. So thank you again for coming to join us. And we were going to leave you with one last song from the indelible Mr. Travis Womack, Hall of Famer, extraordinaire, living legend. He put out his first album when he was 12 years old. You guys, I can't even begin to tell you enough about him. And a very kind man. Very, just all the folks down there. When it comes to music, they don't care who you are or what you're doing. If you want to come play music, you are welcome. They welcomed us in as if we were long lost kin. And I suppose we were. Ha 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 ha. Because we're all of a heart, aren't we? Okay, you guys, I'm very grateful to you. This is track number 15 from Mr. Womack. What the heck's going on here? This machine seems to have shut itself off for some reason. What? It shut itself off here. Let's try again here. Track number 15 from Mr. Womack. This is a track called Tear It Up. Tear It Up. And that's what we're doing right here. Dance me out, kids. Love you guys. When's the last time you heard acoustic drums on a recording, right? Check that out, man. That's a real deal.
Come on, little mama, let's tear the dance floor up. Come on, little mama, let's tear the dance floor up. Well, come on, little mama, let me see you stretch your stuff. Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up. Come on.
Love you guys. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye for now. Love you guys. Bye.